Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 7th grade concept of solving rate problems. This is standard 7.4D in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 21 of the 2017 released STAAR test. If you have not done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. All right, so Kiara downloaded 264 pictures from her cell phone to her computer. So these pictures took up 528 megabytes of space. Now it's interesting here, each picture took up the same amount of space. So that's going to give us our equal groups. So when we're seeing equal groups, that is going to make us think multiplication or division. So now we need to figure out how much 35 of these pictures take up. So we got 264 pictures, 528 megabytes, and 35 pictures. Well, this is also a constant rate of change problem. So let's start with that equation, see if that helps us here. So y equals kx, right? And we start right here because our x is our independent variable. So this is the variable that kind of kicks things off. And so what are we starting with here? Well, we're starting with pictures on our computer. So I'm going to kind of use the commutative property to flip those two right there, and I'm going to say 264k. Now my k, that is my constant of proportionality. So that is what I am multiplying this 264 by. It could be a whole number, could be a decimal. But we're going to end up with our y, which is going to be our dependent variable. So this changes depending on what we do with that k. And in this case, it's going to be the 528. So I've got 264 pictures, multiply them by k, and I'm going to get 528. So we want to find this k. That's going to be helpful for us because then we can use that to figure out what happens there. So how do we isolate the k? Well, let's just divide both sides by 264. And you're probably seeing what I'm doing here. I'm just dividing both sides by x. And so that cancels each other out. And so really what we're getting here is we're going to get our constant of proportionality equals this y over x, which is actually an equation on your formula chart. So that cancels itself out. How many times does 264 go into 528? Well, I think we're just going to double it. Let's just double check. 12, yeah. So it goes in 2 times. So k equals 2. Now that's not one of our answer choices. We're not really looking for that. What we want to do here is we want to use this in a new equation. So check this out. I'm going to go with my y equals kx. But now I know that my k equals 2. And my new x, instead of 264 pictures, it's going to be 35 pictures. So what happens when I double 35? I'm going to get my y. So y equals 70, which is our answer B. Now some of you might have chosen to solve this with a proportion, and that's a good option because you saw 3 numbers and you saw labels, and you saw that 2 of the labels are the same, and you're thinking, oh, proportion, awesome. So 264 pictures is related to 528 megabytes, just like, and let's make sure we keep our labels the same, 35 pictures is related to how many, I'm going to put y megabytes. So you could do it this way, but unless you got a calculator, check out what you've got to do. You got to use cross multiplication. You've got to do 528 times 35. Then when you're done with that, right, that is going to equal 264 divided by y. So to isolate that y, you've got to divide that by 264. Yeah, that's a bit much. Our answer here is B.